Hi, so hopefully you've got sound now because idiot boy here forgot to turn the mic on. Yeah, that's why people leave. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening from. My name is JP. Welcome to Jump On Music UK. This is a live stream that's slightly different. We're going to be having a look at the new X pedalboard, and that's what I use for my RC600 and my pedals. And today we're going to open it up and we're going to take it apart. We're completely going to take it apart and I'm going to redesign it. Now, the reason for this is because since I've put the pedal toppers on, I want to actually put the RC600 on the bottom again. I know I keep saying I put it on the top for a reason, and now I'm going to put it on the bottom. I'm going to trial it like that. So for those of you who are aware of this, then you know that you'd be like, oh, here we go again. JP's moving things around. But I just wanted to show you also how things are routed. And also this new X pedalboard is great. I wish they made a bigger one, but we'll get into that later. Great. I'm glad that the sound is working now. Apologies about that. Couple of things before we get started. This QR code that's just up here, this is DistroKid. That's who's sponsoring the live stream. DistroKid are a music distribution company, and if you've got music you're putting out there, then DistroKid can help you do that. So they can push it out to places like Spotify and Apple Music and all these different places. So if you want to obviously do that, I'm going to bring up the big QR code. It's the same one, this one right here, and then that will give you 7% off your first annual membership with them, because they don't charge you every time you release a track or an album. They charge you a subscription, which is per year, and it's $22.99. But with the link that's in the description box, also that QR code, you get 7% off. So thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. Now, the other thing as well is I have got all my courses for looping and live looping, which you may or may not be aware of. But now what we've done is we've actually created a thing which is a subscription as well. So you'll see the ticker at the bottom there. All my courses, the RC500, the RC600, and the How to Loop Like a Pro course, are now just $15 a month. So you can obviously go for it for $15 a month, get access to all my courses. There is no minimum term. So if you want to obviously go for it for just 1 month and just trial it, see what it's like, it's totally up to you. If you want to buy it, you can still buy them. And of course, that way they're yours forever. That's it. But I just wanted to obviously reach out. Loads of people are saying, obviously, times are hard. Life, cost of living is hard. So we want to make sure we can get people, the help they need. At the cheapest possible price that I can do it at. So $15 a month obviously works with me, and it works hopefully with you guys as well. So for those who have already subscribed, which we've had quite a few, I'm really, really happy with. Thank you so much for subscribing to the subscription. As I add more courses, which I am kind of plan on doing, they will go into this subscription, so that will become even more valuable. But if you want to have a look and check that out, then please do so. Right then, so let's get to the main event. I'm going to swap cameras over. So this is the new X pedalboard. This is the Bumblee Pedalboard. And this one basically now it literally is still packed up from Saturday, so when I did a gig in my local, and it's still even got the cables in here and everything. So we're going to open it up. We're going to basically look at taking it apart. So first, before we do that, I'll show you where things are and how I've got it set up. You may be very familiar with that, but I'm just going to run through it with you. Again, if you've got questions about what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, then please obviously pop it in the chat. Today, we are only live streaming on YouTube. We're not live streaming anywhere else. So let's open this up. So if I just move this forward a bit without knocking the camera, hopefully you can see that there. There is the RC600 on the top. And then on the bottom, we've got a couple of different things. So I'm going to take it out the bag. It's going to be a bit easier if I do that. So let's just do that now. Right. So in the bag is actually all the cables that I use and the microphone and everything. But we're just going to discard that for now. And then we're just going to pop this back on the table. So much so, I've even got cables that are unplugged here. I forgot about that. I unplugged them because I managed to bend one the other day, which was not fun. So let me just do that. There we go. So hopefully you can see that. Let me just have a look. Can you see that? All right. Yeah, you should be able to see it that way. So this is the RC600, and these are the new pedal toppers by Stadium Music, and they are fabulous. They are really, really good, and I really, really like them. However, what I figured out on Saturday when I was playing is actually this top row. When I actually went to press it, I actually pressed it here. I kind of overshot it a little bit. And then it's because of the angle. So it's ever so slight angle. So the whole point is you press that. And I was so paranoid about pressing this one that I kind of overshot and pressed this. And I just kind of realized I'm overreaching. And the reason I'm overreaching is because it is on the top. So normally I have it on the top, and I've got them here somewhere. I normally had these pedal toppers, these ones. These are made by Sonicake. Hopefully the camera will pick that up. Really flat. Oh, cool. Your gig video sounding good. Thank you very much. So yeah, so normally use this one. How are we doing, Piers? You all right? We basically use that one for a long time. And then Graham from Stadium Music obviously reached out, and we've put these on, and they are fabulous. They are the exact same dimensions as the RC300 pedals, but they've got holes in the middle so you can see the lights. Now, for those who aren't familiar with my pedal board, you can just see just on the edge here, if I just move this across to the camera, you can just see there how tight it is by sitting on the top. So we need something to basically make this ever so slightly wider. Now, I've done it before, and this is a massive shout out to APT Music, who did a three or four part video for this, where basically you've got a load of spacers and got little rubber spacers, and was able to put them on each one of these. Now, this may take a bit of time, hence why I thought, well, while I'm doing it, why not a live stream at the same time, and you guys can ask questions. Oh, that's not fun. Oh, Pierce. Well, I'm glad you're starting to feel better. That's all I would say. I'm glad that you are starting to feel better, my friend. That is not the fun thing on the planet. Just bear with me one sec. A little background music. Oh, mate, I'm so sorry you've had COVID. That's really wonderful. I hope, I'm glad you're on the mend. That's really nice. Obviously, and it's not fun. So going over to the pedal board, what you're going to see as well, I'm just going to make a slight adjustment to my camera, just so you don't have to keep looking at my feet, if I'm completely honest. So let me let's zoom in on this now. Let's just do that now. There we go. In fact, if I put it like that, fair enough. So I'm going to run through the pedal board. I'm going to run through. In fact, I'm going to make that screen even bigger, so you can see what I'm doing. Let's do that. There we go. So I'm down in the corner there. Hi. But what we're going to do is we're going to show you basically everything here. So we've got the RC600. That's the big, obviously the main one. And then what we've got as well is we've got this pedal. This pedal is the Sonicake ABY switcher. I've still got the old Sonicake pedal topper on it, which is really, really nice to hit. And it's an AB switcher that I use. I plug in two different guitars, and then this basically just switches between the two. In fact, what I'll do is I'll switch this on, because the other thing about this is it's completely battery powered. So just under here, you'll actually see there is a battery, and I've done a whole video on that, and loads of people are confused about it because they basically were like, well, you're not meant to use that with the 600. It's not enough power. I've found it's fine. So you can see here, this switches between sort of like a green and a red. We've got the TC Helicon Voice Live Play Acoustic. So the two guitars go into here, and I can switch between them, and then they go into the TC Helicon. And the TC Helicon is actually XLR out. So it's XLR out to here, to the A's and B's there. So the mic 1, mic 2. So one's the microphone, one's the guitar. Then we've also got the Sonicake Vexpress. It's just a mini version of their big pedal, which is really, really cool. You can either have it as an expression pedal, or you can have it as a volume pedal. So depending on where you plug in. So I've plugged it on this side. So we've actually got it as a volume. And I've programmed this up to be in the back here. That's what these cables are. So I haven't just plugged them. I just haven't plugged them in. So this will actually do the volume of the loops. And then we've got the Boss FS7 pedal. And that is actually programmed up just to go literally memory up and memory down on the RC600. Okay. And then everything here, obviously we've got everything going out of the back here. And then it depends on the gig. If I'm just doing like a quick gig, I'll just go main, left, right, out. Or what I'll do is I'll use the subs and obviously lay it out in a different way. I'm just going to turn that battery off. There we go. So everything's off as I unplug things. And the key thing with this is this is, as I said, this is called the New X Bumblebee. Let me just move that around so you can see the logo there. There it is, upside down, but there we go. New X Bumblebee. This is the large. This is the largest one that they do. I really want them, and if New X, if you're listening, I really want them to do two things. I want them to do a XL version of this. That would be really, really cool. And then with that XL, what I'd really like them to do is a roller bag. So the bag it goes into is like a suitcase with wheels and a handle, and you can just pull it along. That would be absolutely awesome if they did something like that. I'd be absolutely made up with that. I think that'd be really, really cool. Also, it would mean that basically we can put maybe 1 or 2 more pedals on if we need to. And I've just knocked that wire. There we go. So the key thing with this is the RC600 is bigger than, or ever so slightly wider than the large Bumblebee. Okay. It does fit really snugly into the bag, which is great. But this is where the massive shout out for APT Music comes in, where they figured out actually if you bought some rubber spacers and put them in between the screws, you can actually make it just ever so slightly bigger, and then the RC600 sits really nicely on the bottom shelf. I'm going to take everything off now, and everything's actually just Velcroed on. It's not Velcro, it's the what's it called? The Dual Lock 3M. So that is really, really cool. It's really tough, but at the same time, you can take it off quite easily. So let's pull it apart, shall we? Let's start with the bottom row. We're going to take the Sonic cake off. Oh, that's too tough. We'll come back to that one. This is where it gets really, really tough. There we go. And I'm happy that it's tough to take off, because you don't want it to fall off by accident. So we'll take the Sonic cake off there, and we'll take the FS7 off and unplug that. Again, these two basically actually run on power. So again, there's power going through to the pedal board there. I can now, because I've pulled that, I can now take these out. One of these is a Boss TRS one, and one of them is actually, I think it's from a camera, if I remember correctly. Oh, it's Rode. It's a Rode one. It's a flat Rode one, and all I've got is I've just got the big adapters plugged onto them. So I've got 2 of them, and they go into it. So we'll put that there. Whoops, bump. There goes the camera again. Sorry, guys. Let's just go back to our original one there, and we'll zoom in a little bit. How's that? That's probably a bit better, isn't it? Let's go that way. Right. Don't know why the music stopped. That's a bit weird. So question. Have I ever tried instead of the Play Acoustic? The VE500 I have. It's here. And I haven't got into it yet. I haven't had the time. What I'd really like to do is actually put the RC500 and the VE500 together as like a mini loop version, like a 2-track loop version of the 600 on a smaller pedal board, just like if you go into an open mic night or something like that. But yes, I've had a play with it. I haven't fully got it sorted yet, but I've nowhere near got it sorted, and there's way more effects on there. However, I do like the body res on here for the acoustic guitar, and also I do like the harmonies, the way the harmonies just sound a bit more natural. That's just my personal preference so far, because I haven't had the time to actually dial in the VE500. So no, I haven't replaced the VE500 with this yet. And I say yet because I may get back to it. So we'll see what happens. But I really, really love the TC Helicon. I sold this TC Helicon. I sold the previous one. My God, I can't take that off. That's okay. And I sold it, and then about a month later, I bought this one. I missed it massively. I really missed it. And it's more about the harmonies, and I've dialed in the bass sound, and I've got like a radio sound I really like. So, come on, there we go. So that's the 600 off, and you can see I've got patches here. I've lost a foot over time, but that's just the way it is. We'll put that on this side for now. Now you can see this open. What we're going to do is I'm just going to unplug all the little cables that I've got here. So I've got a flat TS cable. Again, this is a Boss one. It's the one, they're flat cables. I really like them. They're really nice. I just need to get I think they must do a version of that that's a little bit longer. I think you can get like a pack where you can build your own and cut them. But yeah, they're cool. And then the last one, as you can see, is the TC Helicon, which is sitting here, being a bit stubborn. Now, oh, there's marks on here. What's that? Ugh, needs cleaning. Let's get that out first. These are brilliant. If you're ever looking for thin, what's that? We've done a similar thing with a large format code, nothing like something. Oh yeah, okay. So these are made by, I don't know if you can see that, these are made by Russell. These are a flat XLR that you can unscrew and put the cable any way you want, as in you can have the cable on this side or that side. They're really nice. Thank you very much to Russell. They sent me over a pack of these and they are fabulous to use. They've been a godsend. Really nice length as well. So they reach from the TC Helicon to the RC600 really nicely. So that's the cables done. Next, let's get this TC Helicon off. Come on. If we can't get it off, it's not the end of the world, because as you can see, these are all kind of screwable. So what you can do is you can just unscrew them, and then underneath, basically, there's tiny little screws that you can't really see under here. Now, I've actually got this set up in such a way that the RC600 didn't need a middle board going through. So I've got 2 here, I've got 3 here, and then there's 2 at the back, and that's actually what's holding the Harley Benton. Now, I need to take them all off to be able to put the spacers on, and these are the spacers. So this is going to freak the camera out now. These are the spacers. It's about, I'm trying to find my face. The Russell plugs are really nice. It's RUSTLE, Rustle. RUSTLE. If you have a look for them, just put Russell XLR into Google, you'll find it. I did have a link that you could buy them from, like an affiliated link, but just do that. So yeah, this one ain't moving, but that's fine because these 3 bars are going here and these 2 bars are going there because I've put the tape in the right place. So I'm actually going to be moving the bars. The only bars I'm not actually moving as such are the back ones, but I still have to take them out to put the spacers on. So we're going to do that in a minute. Now, I'm going to give this one last go. And if this TC Helicon ain't moving, it's staying where it is. Oh my God, it is full on there. This is why I do like, no. I'd have to get, if I can use that. I'd have to get like a flat blade screwdriver or something to do that with. We've got one here right now. I've got like a Phillips. Let's see if we can get that off with the Phillips. Come on. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there we go. Got it off. Whee. This thing, if and when this eventually dies, because it has been well used and it's dusty as hell right now, I'm going to be very sad because they're very hard to come by now. And TC Helicon seems to be going a completely different way since certain members of TC Helicon left, and then TC Helicon was bought. It was bought and went into Music Tribe, and TC Electronics as well. So underneath here, you can see, hopefully, that there is a little cable holder, and that comes with the Bumblebee, which is really, really handy. There is my Harley Benton Power Plant Power Bank Plus Mark II. It's got the weirdest name. And the longest name, they could have just called it Power Bank Mark II. They could have just given it a new name. And then it comes with a load of, obviously, the little adapters. And then one of them is it's 12 volts, and the other one you can adjust. So now I'm going to take off all the boards. But before we do that, let's do a little bit of a thing about this. So, as I said to you before, this live stream is sponsored. It's sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. If you're making music, you want to do this, and you're making tunes at home, or you're making tunes with your band, you want to take it out there, then these guys can help you. These guys basically can actually showcase by putting your stuff onto Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Deezer, Tidal, loads of different radios, loads of different online digital radios. I think it's about 160 different stores around the world now. So if you obviously click the link, it's normally a subscription, which is $22.99 a year. So you can make as much music as you want to for $23. However, with that link, you're going to get 7% off. So thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. If you want to click the link, that helps me out, but also when you sign up, but also at the same time, it's going to help you out. You're going to get 7% off. Thank you very much. So let's do this. Oh, by the way, if you feel like you've missed the DistroKid thing, it's there. It's going to be there the entire live stream. Okay. So this is the wrong Allen key, and I brought 2 Allen keys with me. I thought, is it this one or is it this one? I can't remember. So we are literally. You don't see my face while I do this, do you? There we go. So we are literally just taking these really long bolts out, and the only real way I can describe this with the new X Bumblebee is it's a little bit like Meccano. So it's just geared up to put these bars wherever you want to, and I really like that. I really like the fact it's kind of customizable. You get other pedal boards, and it's kind of like this is this is the way for you've got to use it in this specific way, and that's it. APT's in the house. You're welcome. Of course you are welcome. This is, if you're wondering why I'm shouting about that, is because this is the one person who had figured it out and even made me, where are we? Let's go to here. Made me buy this bag of spacers from Amazon. Now, I had the RC600 on the bottom. I did. And then in January of last year, God, was it January last year? Or was it this year? I can't remember. I basically put the RC600 on the top, and the reason for that was because I was making mistakes, and I just need to man up and stop making mistakes. But since I've put these spacers on, these toppers on, it's changed the angle ever so slightly, and I want it back on the bottom again. So I thought I would live stream it. So if you want to go and figure out and watch the videos, go to APT Music UK. I'll go to their YouTube channel. First of all, subscribe to their channel, and then second of all, go and watch the video about the Bumblebee, the new X Bumblebee, and go and have a look at how they did it. And it's great. It's a really great tutorial. So thank you very much. There we go. What was the question? I saw a question. Ali's in the house. May I ask your personal preference? Is the R600 over the Sheeran loopers? Well, I don't have a Sheeran looper. I only have the Plus, which is, of course, the 2-track one. We are still in talks with Sheeran loopers because basically they sold that well. They didn't have any left to hand to little old me. But I'm speaking with them. We're in constant communication, almost on a sort of bi-weekly mode. And we are going to get a Sheeran Looper X at some point. Okay. What I really want is the Zigga Zig R. But what I really want, if you know that, you know that. What I really want is I really want to have it when they are planning their software updates, because there's a couple of things you can and can't do. And one of the things you can't do at the moment is about effects, and also about the way you pause and mute things. They apparently are looking at it. That's all I can tell you. That's all they're saying to me. They're not saying anything to me, if I'm completely honest. Let's zoom this out so you can see what I'm doing. And yeah, so at the moment, yes, the RC600 is the flagship looper I know the best. Okay. However, go and speak to Carl Wachner, and it's all about the headrest looper board, because that's what he has, and that's what he gigs with, and won't use anything else. And obviously played with the Sheeran Looper X. He's very, very lucky. I got to play with it when it very first came out. I think you got it slightly before it came out. And again, it's the flow. It's the actual flow of how you use it. For me, at the moment, 600 is what I'm using. So there's much. It's very established, and also there's lots of customization. So in that, to ask your personal preference question, my personal preference question is the 600. And then when I want to do the whole sort of like build things up with my mouth kind of thing, it's the 505 Mark II, which is just here. just here. So it is the Boss loopers. It is. They're the most customizable at the moment. There's no denying that. However, I literally just answered a comment from someone the other day, and they're like, there's no point having a touchscreen on the floor. You know, no one wants to see you bend down and adjust something on a touchscreen. And that's correct. But no one wants to see you bend down and adjust something on this tiny little display either, and go menu diving, when a touchscreen, which is 7 inches, you can clearly see volumes that go there, done, and it's touchscreen. So in that scenario, I'd prefer a touchscreen, and I would. If Boss suddenly turned around and went, right, we're bringing a new version of the 600 up with a 7-inch touchscreen, I'm like, that's it, I'm done. Like, I'm very, very, very happy. However, just to throw things into the curve here, I don't like, and I've come to terms with it, but I don't like that all the outputs are jack. I really want XLR outputs, so we can go into DI boxes properly, or you can just go straight into PAs properly. And the Headrush looper board, which is over there, I've had a Headrush looper board since day one. I'll leave that for a second. I've had a Headrush looper board since day one. I love the fact it's XLR and jack out, so you've got the 4 outs and you've got the XLRs. That's great for larger gigs. It's great for PAs. It's great XLR out. It's fantastic. So for me, it's about a couple of different things that they need to iron out with that, with the RC600. But yeah, anyway, that's the argument goes on and on and on. Fundamentally, it's down to how you loop, how you play, what you want in each looper, what effects you want, how you want that looper to go, and whether you're using multiple patches. And there's lots of different variables. Right now, it's the 600. That's the end of it. Because the other thing as well is I know it's that well. And the reason I know it that well is because I spent months with it. And that leads me nicely onto, I actually have an RC600 course. That ticker's going across at the bottom. I know almost everything about it, and that's the very good thing for me. But if you want to learn everything about it, now you can get my course for the RC600, which is $197, or you can actually just subscribe to all my courses for $15 a month. If you want to trial my courses, I've not put a minimum term on this subscription, by the way. I want to see how people subscribe and what your behaviors are, whether you're just going to bash through it all in a month and then cancel, or whether you're going to keep the subscription because more things come out. So it's an experiment for me, this subscription course. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be truthful with you. But also at the same time, get access to over 55 videos that are not in YouTube, taking you right from the very beginning, right to some really advanced setups on the 600, the 500, and also my How to Loop Like a Pro course, which is normally $149. That's in the subscription. So there we go. Anyway, I just wanted to let you be aware of that. So yes, I'm using it because I locked myself in a room for 2-3 months before it was released, and then I was very, very lucky in that respect. So Ali, the answer to your question, RC600 for me at the moment. Let's see if that changes. No one was expecting the Sheeran loopers. That's the thing. So no one actually expected the Sheeran loopers. Like the Spanish Inquisition, they just turned up. So, like, what do you mean you're going to turn off? Go away. There we go. So, yeah, so it was a bit of a weird one. And I don't think anyone we just didn't expect it. And all of a sudden, boom, they've been partnering with Sheeran Loop, partnering with Headrush, and they just brought them out. And it was a complete shock to the looping community. And it was a bit of a curveball. It just went straight in. Anyway, I'm now way behind on the chat. Velcro version using mushrooms rather than a hook. Yes. Thanks for the shout out, JP. You're welcome. Ali, not sure if he's got his hands. No, I haven't, not yet. If he has, he's resisting making videos about it, which isn't like GP. No, I haven't got one. Simple as that. So there we go. It's reminiscent to the way the Pro video gear has gone many fixture points, cheese plates, and the like. Yeah, if you give it lots of flexibility for your rigging, yes. There we go. Cool question. How long does the Harley Benton power bank last you with your setup? About 9 hours. So I can do 3 gigs, like 3 2-hour gigs easily. I can't do maths. 2, 4, 6. I do 4. I do 5. How many hours? I can't remember. So yeah, so I quite a few hours. I can also plug my phone into you charge it by USB-C. That's also in and out, so I can charge my phone from it as well whilst gigging, which does take a bit more power. I'm using, where are we? I'm using 4 outs. So we're using the TC Helicon, the RC600, of course, and then the 2 pedals, the Sonic 8 pedals, the ABY, not the 2 Sonic 8, the Sonic 8 ABY and the Boss FS7 pedal, all powered through that. Now, if you look at the RC600s, be careful, of course, with your RC600. But if you look at the RC600 power, it says it needs way more than the Harley Benton will deliver. However, I think they've been super conservative because they just wanted to be, because it says it needs 1.2 amps and it doesn't. I think it only needs that if you're running phantom power on both mics, and I'm not running phantom power at all. So I've used it with the TC Helicon, with the RC600, the FS7, and the Sonic 8 thing for 9 hours. And then it kind of just went and blinked out, and just I killed it. Now, luckily, that wasn't on a gig. I was actually practicing at the time. But you can charge it by USB-C, so you can just have a USB-C cable with your plug from your phone and plug it in, and it'll charge it. So there we go. Anyway, back to our little experiment here. I just want a MIDI pedalboard with those switches. Yes, I knew I had something to tell you, Pierce. Oh God, what's the name? Go onto Instagram if you've got Instagram or Facebook, and to answer that question, there's a guy building a pedalboard for Loopy Pro. Oh God, what's his name? Why does the music keep turning off? Sorry, like ADHD moment. Retro Loop USA. Go and find Retro Loop USA. His name is Adam. He's really highly engaged on Instagram, and we've been talking about him kind of hopefully sending us one to play with. Retro Loop USA, and he's building almost bespoke, but he's building this thing that he wants to then start selling. Go and talk to him. Get him on your channel, because I think that would be, or get him to send you one for your YouTube channel, because I think that'd be very, very good. So there we go. I'd rather with a touchscreen one on iPad app and as a control surface. Exactly. They're doing it all digital mixer these days. Love the Bumblebee. Yeah, I like the Bumblebee. I just want it longer. I want it sort of like, I don't want 3 tiers or anything like that. I just want the same tiers. I just want these black bars to be longer. Now, I could actually go and get, aluminium bars and get someone to fabricate them long, but that's a lot of hassle. By the time you've done that and got them to weld it and like shape it and everything else, it'd be really cool if they just made a longer one. And all it is, as I can now show you, is, let me just change the camera again. There we go. If I now take this off, that's it. That's what they look like. So this is the top, this is the bottom, and you can see where they are. So these two are going to stay where they are, basically, and then I'm just going to move these two down and these two up. They're actually in the same spacings. And you can say, well, actually, I want that one there and this spacing here, or I want it here further forward. You can see I've even had stuff further forward in the past. And this is the side pod for it, and then it's just a load of screws that actually drill into there, because they've actually got screw nut pods. It's really cool, and it's one of those things where if I go and get another pedal board from somewhere else, that's it, you're stuck with that design. Whereas this, I think it's really, really cool. Now, something I've completely forgotten, which is all the cabling for the power unit. So I'm going to have to take them out, which is a pain, but I probably could just have done that once I've taken that out, but never mind, I've done it now. You're watching a professional play, and then I can just slide that out, and this is the you get a couple of these. I think you get 3 or 4 if I remember correctly. Someone can correct me on that. I only need one to kind of sort all that bump out. So let's leave all that there. I'm going to leave this exactly where it is. However, I'm going to put the spacers on and then rescrew it. So what I now need to do is turn this around, and this is the hard bit. So let's get the RC600 out of the way. Right. Answer my questions. Right. Oh, okay. I've just seen Ali's message. Right, I'm using my X for live gigs, solos, duos. I also have the Plus, which I'm trying to put together a 2-track MIDI board together with smaller rigs. I use my RC600 for my Twitch streams. Wow, that's cool. That's wicked. I saw some of your stuff, by the way. Fabulous. You're posting on the YouTube. It's cool. That's cool. I like that. So you have an X for the solo and duo gigs. You're doing a 2-track one for smaller gigs. See, that's what I'd like to do, but like the Boss equivalent. So what I want to do is I want to kind of do the RC500 with the VE500 we just discussed before, and just do that. That'd be quite cool. It's all good. Tainted in the house. Tainted, how we doing? That's cool. Yeah, it's a big change for the workflow because, of course, it's muscle memory. Where's that pedal? What does it do? What if I press the wrong button? And if you have one setup, that's fine, and that's also quite a lot. Whereas if you have lots, then yes, there we go. Yes, anxiously waiting for the firmware for the X. Yeah, and this is it. They did talk. There was hints of it, and it wasn't really from Sheeran Loopers. It was kind of like from other people. So that'd be quite cool. Fan to power draws very little current. Yeah, exactly. So I don't really know why they say it needs 1.2 when I use this and it's fine. You're biasing a capacitor, so there's a bit of inrush current as it warms up, but nothing more for that. There we go. I've noticed Carl using the headrush looper board still. He knows. I know he's anxious, waiting updates as well. Yeah, I think Carl is an incredibly amazing, seasoned loop artist. I have mucho respecto for Carl because he's brilliant at what he does. And that's his full-time thing. It's his full-time gig, as it is for many of us. So to change the brain, the main part of his stuff, if you notice as well on his rig, he's even got stuff like on top of the headrush looper board. He's got like his IR booster and things like that. So to change that is massive. So it's got to be right. It's got to be right before he goes, I'm going to make a change. I said, oh, why don't you ever go with this? And he's like, I'm not dealing with that right now. Like we were talking about, I think we were talking about, he had a V500. I don't know if he's still got it. He's added one more thing on. He started to add a little pad, which has got sounds on. I think it's an Akai connected to something. But yeah, no, speak to Carl about it. By all means, reach out to him. He's a lovely, lovely guy, and I'm sure he'll respond to you. He's amazing. And he knows what Carl doesn't know about the headrush looper board, like, is a Jedi with it, honestly. He loops in a very different way, though. Where I loop, like, track 1 is the drums, track 2 is the bass, track 3 is I do it like that. He splits things up across his loops. So he splits like the hi-hats on 1, the snares on 2. So he splits his drums across. So then when he's playing all 4 tracks, the whole drum kit is playing. But then when he takes bits away, like the hi-hat's missing, and as well as for the verse or the kicks, like a little as opposed to like a hit. It's really clever the way he does his stuff. He splits it up in a really different way. But then that's also can mess with the routing. So I'll stop talking. Let's find out why this music keeps stopping. Why do you keep stopping music? That's great. Oh, cool. It's not my music. It's just basically me. But they're built to take a pounding. They are. Do you not remember as kids? Yeah, like absolutely. They might take a pounding. Absolutely. Just like these are with the stadium ones. They're really cool. The MIDI Maestro with the Looper X works splendidly to cut it down all the tap dancing. Nice, like that. That's cool. Bought a MIDI Captain MIDI 6 from my small board. Yeah, I keep seeing the MIDI Captains, and I also keep seeing this chocolate one as well that everyone keeps talking about. So I need to look into that myself. Right, now, I've just turned this round. Really want the Morningstar 6 Pro, but haven't been able to use it. Really wanted the Morningstar 6 Pro, but haven't been able to use it. It's really good to program up. It's really easy. Really, really easy, definitely. Right, I'm going to basically carry on doing what I'm doing while you guys are chatting. I realise I'm a little bit behind on the chat. You guys are having a nice little chat there. That's all good. Fantastic. High respect to Carl, absolutely. Just seeing that there, that's cool. So I just seen Piers talking about the Morbius looper, which is what Ed Sheeran does still use, which is bizarre. Even though we've got this Looper X, I'm wondering whether he now uses the Looper X on his latest tour stuff, or whether he's using the Morbius to complete the world tour, and then his next stuff will all be using the Looper X, or whether he goes, no, I don't want to use the Looper X. I'm using my custom stuff. That's just for us mere mortals. Maybe that's the case. Now, this is the bit where I have to be careful because I have to remember which one's which. So I'm going to put these down in order as I do this. The great thing with this, by the way, as well, is, by the way, you know, I said I wanted like the large version. That is, can I do that? Can I do it like that? There we go. That's the length of it. So I kind of want it like a little bit longer, just so I could add more stuff on, because we all want to add more things. So I'm going to try and be clever here, which will probably fail. But a big shout out to New X, because this is the pedalboard of, you know, for customization. If you want a real pedalboard that customizes, this is it. It literally is a build your own version. It's really, really cool. Have I already messed that up? No. Okay. Maybe I have. Wait a minute. No. Okay. Yeah. So it is one of those things about sort of just being able to customize it the way you want, and you could put it, you know, you could put the further apart, you could put it close together, you could have one hanging over the other so the stuff are on the back. I know someone who does that, and they've got pedals that are underneath this section here that they have switched on, but they don't need to actually hit. And that's really clever, because you can actually do that. So you've got a load of pedals in the MIDI, you could actually do that, leave them there in the background, and then use something like a Morningstar to control it. It's just a really clever move. Right, so let's take this one off. You never thought you'd be sitting here wherever you're sitting, watching, hearing, just watching me take things apart, did you? But there you are, and you are watching, and thank you for watching. In terms of watching, if you are finding any kind of value out of this, if I've answered your question, or if you're finding any value out of what I'm doing, then please give this live stream a thumbs up. That really, really does help. People don't realize how much it helps, but it actually does, because it tells the algorithm basically to send it out to more people, and that really helps me. And then the other thing as well, of course, if you really want to help me and you really want to say thank you, you can always send a super chat, and you can also now do a super thanks as well on YouTube, which is really cool. This is going to get to the point now where this doesn't balance and it's going to fall over. So, what's that? Did you see that Dario have released a mic stand that clips onto a pedal space on your pedal board? No, I have not, and that is cool. I need to look at that. Someone else did that. Someone else did one. It wasn't one that clipped on. It was one that was like a block, and then you kind of tucked it under your pedal board, and it kind of went through. Who did that? On stage did one. So you didn't have. That's the thing. You don't want the spikes out, and the amount of times my mic stand's like almost going to lean over. Certainly, if I've got my iPad attached to it. Yeah, that's cool. I need to look at that. I need to reach out to them, because they are my strings of choice, actually. So if people are interested in that, the strings I use on my acoustic guitars, I use the APX 500 Yamaha and the 600. So it's the good old version 1 of both. So I haven't got the version 3 or the version 4, whatever. It's the APX 600 version 1 and the classic version 1 of the 500. I use the Dario XS. So they're the ones that have the coatings on them. They last super long. I'm very, very happy with them. I will not use anything else. I know there's another company who do something like that. But yeah, really, really cool. Yeah, do you know what, Pierce? Yeah, fair. They are, but you could take one to someone who could do it. But then there's also like, I'm sure they could do that. You know, there's the like. Oh, sorry. Let me show you what I mean. Hang on a minute. Let me just swap that over. So if you have a look there, you've got like where the screw point is and everything else. I bet you they could. They probably could. They probably could actually do, you know, an extrusion form for it and make it longer. And maybe we'll do that in the future. But for now, I'm flipping lazy and I'm not going to do it myself. So there we go. So yeah, that I need to have a look at that. Okay, I'm not looking at it now. Don't distract me while I'm building something, please. I'm only messing. Right, so this bag of little rubber ends, as it were, these tiny little things, this is what's going to save the day. And I've done this before, and APT, if you're still there, will obviously vouch for this because that's how they've done it. And very simply, I've left this one on here for now, but it will need a spacer going on there at some point. It's just that I've left it on there. I could take it off, actually. But what happens is we basically put this in between here. So then it just gives it a little bit more space, and then the screw just doesn't go as far down. So we actually put that there. So it just gives it a couple of mil, and you do it to both sides, and then the RC600 can sit there snugly, which is, of course, the appropriate term. So the way I've found this to work is it's fiddly. It's not. There's no lie for this. It is fiddly, isn't it, APT? Which is basically I'm going to actually take off this other one so I can show you what I'm doing. So let's just take this one off first, and then we'll get on to the actual spacers. So how is everyone? How's everyone doing? Is everyone all right? Has anyone gigging? Have we got multiple gigs? Have we done festivals? And how are you with festivals? Or how have you been doing stuff where it's not your normal gig? You know, you've got like a random sound engineer, no offense to sound engineers, I love them, but a random sound engineer doesn't know your stuff, and then you hand it to them and go, oi, you know, stop putting reverb on my looper, because that's the one I always end up with. There we go. Two more to do, and then it's all gonna come apart. Right, so I think actually, because I've got this battery pack attached to it, this is the one that's going to be the most fiddly, I think. So, the amount of times I drop these. Yeah, there you go. You're moving now, aren't you? Because you're unhappy, because it's going to kick off because the spacers are going to move, and then the zip tie has moved, so therefore it's going to fall off. Yeah, don't fall off. Thank you. 3. Yeah, so obviously the zip tie there, I'll just keep it like that. Right, so I'm going to keep that at the end. And actually, we'll move it down a bit. See the way that's kind of forced itself, because I zip tied that stupidly tight. So that's going to be the bottom. And this is where you can design stuff. This is where you can actually really design it. I really like this. So you can like basically go, right, I want it there. Cool. And then you go, right, so where's that going to go? Well, let's see if it goes there or that side or that side. So I'm going to stick to everything was at a specific side. I'm going to stick to where it was, but that means that basically that's going to go on the top here. Now, the only downside of this that I can foresee is my microphone. Now, my microphone goes into here, which is fine because when it was underneath, I had to tuck it underneath, so it takes me easier to plug in. I just have to remember to unplug it for every gig, and I get better access to this, which is the mic control. But we need to build this first with the spacers, and that is the key. So, can't believe we've been doing this for about an hour. Let's see what we're going to do. Which one are we going to use first? Let's use the RC600 one first. So these ones are the ones that are going to go on top now. They were on the bottom. And that's the RC600 ones. We're going to swap them over. So I know from me, literally, as you can see there, me scratching things around, I know exactly where they're meant to go, okay? And that's why I had the 3 there. So now I'm going to go there and there. So 2, and then a space, and then 2. That's how I'm going to do it. Okay. The way to tell with this as well, of course, is if you've already got this set up, and I'm changing the setup, is the space in between these. So if I was to actually put this back on for a second, and I put this back on like bob on, then if I put that right at the very front, it's going to hang over. So it's actually not going to go right on the very, very front. Otherwise I'm going to have this hangover here at the edge. Does that make sense? So I might, let's just see. I might put it one back. Actually, where do you, APT is still here, I think. Where do you put it? Do you have it one back, or do you have it like bang on the edge? Then again, I suppose it depends where your Velcro is. That's a meme, isn't it? I think I'm going to have it. If I have it bang on the front, then, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. Have it bang on the front, then I suppose it's going to have more space. So this is what you can do. You can literally just sit here and play with this all day, like I say, like with Meccano. Yeah, screw it. We're going to do it on the very front one. You can always adjust it later. So let's get rid of the RC600 again. Mostly just live music and requests with a little chat and wine. Love that. Nice. Actually, Ali's online, and Ali does Twitch stream. Who else does streaming on Twitch? Because I have a question for you all Twitch streamers. Talking with Emily McVicker, who is fab and very funny as well. A lot of fun. I'm not used to streaming on Twitch. Now, I stream on Twitch here. By the way, just to show you what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm just doing stuff without showing you properly, and that's the whole point of this flipping live stream. So, screw goes in, spacer goes there, and then for this one, hey, this is what happens all the time now. Spacer goes there, and then literally, this is just turn this. Make sure it's straight, GP. Come on, fool. Give myself a Mr. T telling off. Right. Now, this is a weird way to do it, I know, but for me it makes sense, so leave me alone. Right, now I've done that, and it's sort of loosely on, I can now go like this, and whee, on it goes. Now, oh no, they've gone down the back. Right, so while I go and retrieve that, the key one with this is to not screw it on all the way, otherwise you can't get the other spacer on. So, where's that gone? Is that actually gone on the floor? Oh, yeah, flipping thing. Thanks, camera, for following me. Really, really dignified. And this is the bit that gets tricky. So now that's kind of on there. It is and it isn't, because it'll end up being like that. So it will have a gap, and that's the whole point. That's what you want. This is the bit that's tricky. So what I've found is when I did this last time, is to put the spacer on the nut like so, and then gently push that back to then, hopefully, he says, feed that in here. It is a pain to do, but if you get it right, he says, oh, that's well off. There we go. Yeah, we're rocking now. Okay, cool. And then you can tighten it up. So now we've put that on. There we go. Can you see the difference? So you can actually see. Let me just put that to the camera there. Can you see that? See the difference it's made? And it's still tight. It's tight as hell, which is great. So we'll tighten that up a little bit more. That's fine. That's great. So there's our first piece. There we go. We're on. All good. Oh, look at this. Already do follow you. Should be streaming on Friday night time. Assuming COVID isn't still. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry you've had COVID. That's horrible. Because apparently, like this time round, it's like worse. One or two people on my day job just said like the second time round, it's been like abysmal. So I hope you recover as quickly as you got it. That's all I could really say, really. And certainly keep hydrated. Not that you're going to get health advice off me. 1, 2, so there, that one. Right, so we just basically repeat this process. And I have a sneaky suspicion that's too close. Is that too close? Oh yeah, it is too close. I'm being dumb because I separate them out, don't I? Because normally it's like that, but then there's 1, 2, like that, and then it's there. It's there. It's that one, isn't it? Silly boy. Right. There we go. So, yeah, back to my question for Ali, and anyone else who is Twitch streaming. He said, "Love Emily. Have talked with her a lot. She's the reason I found Twitch and found encouraged to start." It's cool, but the thing I find with Twitch, personally for me, and I can be technically minded if I need to be, is I just don't quite seem to click in. Oh, I've just dropped the spacer. I just don't quite seem to click in with the whole. Oh, hello, camera, come back to me. I just don't seem to click in with the whole kind of like. You need, like, certainly for musicians, like a friend of mine was like, "Oh yeah, get onto it, and then you're gonna, like, if you're doing covers, you're gonna need like, you know, like a request thing, so people can go and request it." And I'm like, "But I can just ask them," like, and it's like, "Oh, you need a list." I'm like, "Oh, what do I need a list for?" So I don't know, maybe I'm just lazy, but it just felt like more work than just getting up and live streaming. But I suppose the nice thing that I've heard Emily say is the community is freaking awesome. I mean, I like the community here on YouTube. I think the community here is great because we all have our regulars who join us, but also at the same time, you know, the new people come along and ask questions straight away, and then they don't have to, you know, do anything. The only thing, obviously, I don't even understand how raids work. So, like, do I need to know that? I don't know. So, and then what happened? And then you're meant to send people to another live stream at the end of your one, and that's good because you've been a good boy and a good girl, and you've helped people out. I don't know what I'm doing with it. So yeah, so that's my thing on Twitch. I'd love to sort of figure it out. You don't have to have a streamer's song list. You can just live stream. The community is awesome. Every channel has its own style. Absolutely. Right. So we now have the bottom bit for the R600 on. Now it looks a little bit off, but don't worry, it'll be fine. It's just the spacers. When you get the other one on, it'll even itself out. So then we'll do exactly the same for this one. And then the key with this one is obviously we're not going to do this side yet, because if I did this side, then it's going to be really, really hard to get this all in as one thing. So we're going to build it all up on one side first. And then, as you saw before, we had it kind of facing upwards like this. And then we just add this on top at the end, and you just go exactly the same places. So we'll move this to one side for now because we don't actually need it yet. So we'll leave that there. Now, the next bit is this monster. And this is going to be problematic. I've realized this now because I've zip tied it. But then it's not going to be happy when I try and put these back on 2 at a time. So how am I going to do that? Yeah, let's just go for it. Okay, so yeah, we're going to have to then, we'll just take one of them out for now. And then what we'll do is we'll slide it back on before we screw it up. And I don't mean screw it up as in mess it up, I mean as in actually screw it up. Maybe it'd be better to do it that way. There we go. Okay, don't do it too much. There we go. It basically just sends. Oh, is this okay? That sound like they're using Streamlabs for the Quest features on Twitch. Streamlabs. Oh yeah. And that's the other thing as well. It's like it's obviously there's a great music community on there, and that's cool. Like all the get a skin for your OBS and all that. I mean, for those who are familiar with the channel, you know I use ReStream, and that's what we're using right now. That's why I've got this look. I haven't designed this. It's just comes with it, and that's fine for me because I just put in what camera I want and then it sorts it out. Sometimes it's a bit choppy when it comes to the quality, but it works quite well. I know OBS because I've done videos on OBS, but then it's designing it around what you want, I suppose. I suppose I'm just overthinking it and being picky. Maybe I should just shut up and get on Twitch. I don't know. Right, this is the one that's close together. That's right. Okay. So, if you're just joining us, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening from, watching from. We are in the middle of a rebuild for my pedalboard. And the reason for this rebuild, I have had the RC600 loop station on the top of the pedalboard, but recently, since having these pedal toppers, which I absolutely love, by the way, it's changed the angle slightly. So I want to actually experiment with putting it back on the bottom. And I was just going to do it in the comfort of my own home, as I am right now. And I thought, you know what, whilst we do it, let's do it while you guys watch me do it. And that way you can see how I do it and how I build my little pedalboard. This is the Bumblebee at large by New X. I used to say it wrong. I've said it wrong so many times because you just see NUX. So what would that make you do? We'll go Nux. It's actually New X, and I apologize to New X for getting it wrong so many times. I didn't mean to. It was just a faux pas on my behalf. So there we go. Right, now, this is going to be the interesting bit. I'm being really stingy. I might need, see how solid that is? It just doesn't move. They're great. I love this board. Just New X, make an XL version. And the only thing that would stop an XL version is literally the length of these black things. It's so tight that I don't think it's going to go. I think I'm going to have to suck it and get new zip ties. I'm trying to do this without getting new zip ties because I don't like wasting them because they're made of plastic. You don't want to waste plastic. You know, if you're using plastic, make the most out of it. Don't just cut a zip tie just for the sake of it. The next hour is you watching me trying to get these zip ties back on. Oh, one's on. Amazing. Right, okay, so let's slide you down. And, of course, this is the wrong end. So, I mean, I can always turn it around, but I want to slide it all the way down the end. Aha! We're on! We're on. We haven't wasted plastic. Sweet. Right, that's on. Cool. So now, this is the key thing now. So this is the Harley Benson. That's on there now. That's great. What is that residue? Ugh. I don't know what it is. I think it's like Coke or beer or something. From a gig. Sweat. So I'm going to leave that like that. So you can see what this is doing. That's great. If you buy the kit with their own money, you can call them whatever you want. No, you know, be respectful, obviously. But it's cool. That's nice. I like that. It's great. You gained a few followers of your music. Of course, people follow me for the instructional stuff, and that's all cool. But you know, if I suddenly promoted my single, which I have done and stuff, you know, get a bit of traction, but not as much on here because people follow me for the looping and the advice and the reviews that we do. So it's a bit of a different community, I suppose. That's interesting. However, it basically replaces a live gig I really didn't want to take. And I can play live, gain followers, and an income from Twitch instead of saying yes to those less appealing venues. That's interesting. I mean, it obviously depends on how much you're making and how you're making money off Twitch. Love to have a conversation about that, Ali, on a later date that we call. Maybe we do a live stream together and we have a little bit of an interview with you, and that'd be quite cool. Much shorter drive to streaming studio. Don't even have to drive; it's just in my house. 53, working as a live gigging musician for over 40 years. And yeah, hauling all the equipment around, yeah, it takes its toll. Absolutely, it does. Talking to a guy with 2 slip discs now. So yeah, I know. Shock horror. Right, now this is the bit where I've got to remember where the crap does it all go. That one is that one. that goes across there. Oh God, have I forgotten that now? That's that one. That's that one. That's right. You're the one that fell off, aren't you? Yes. So we only put you in the middle. So that's right. So that's that one. That's that one. That's the TC Helicon, and that's the switcher. So in that case, it goes that way around. Sorry, just had a moment. Just needed to. You're over here. Hi. Sorry, just had a moment. Just needed to figure that out. Right. You know, you're saying you're lugging stuff around, but yet you want to play with 3 different loopers, like the Looper X, the 600, and the 500. Well, you know, I totally get why you want a smaller rig for looping, though. I mean, the thing is, like, you know, on the days where you're just like, I'm going to go to like an open mic night, I can't be arsed even carrying this, and this is a really good rig. Like, I just want a really small looper, and I also don't want to carry my Mahusive. This double bag with 2 acoustic guitars in. It's great, but flipping heck, you know, it's, my back knows about it, and the next day I'll tell you now. It's, you know, you're carrying 2 guitars on your back. There's no other way around it. You just have to admit that that is what is happening. So yeah, so we should be able to get this done pretty nicely. Now this is the bit where I remember last time. Oh, I've screwed it in too much. Damn. This is the bit where I remember last time when I did this, it kind of like got messy, and the reason it got messy is because of literally gravity. This is moving down. Do you see that? So yeah. There we go. Oh, thank you very much, Ali. That's actually saying, obviously, thank you for all the tech reviews, but you love my music too. That's great. If you obviously want to go and, if anyone's listening, you want to go and look at my music, you can, of course. It's available on all streaming sites. And the reason it's available on all streaming sites, sorry for you looking at my baldy head, is because of DistroKid. I use DistroKid myself. I think it is by far the easiest. You should have a drinking game, by the way. Every time I drop this, you'd be quite sloshed. I think DistroKid's by far just the easiest, but not just that. I know they sponsor the channel. I'm very grateful. I genuinely use them because it's just easy, and I'm lazy. And once you upload it, you get the hyperfollow page, which I think is the most important thing. It's kind of like, cool, should we just move everyone over? You know, like, should we move everyone over from like Spotify over to Apple Music? No, you're not going to move anyone over. You're going to, the people stay with what they want to stay with. So you give them a hyperfollow page, and they just choose how they listen to your music. It's that simple. Fast Eddie, what was that? Hang on, let me go back a little bit. I've got questions. People got questions. What 2 guitars are you using? Is it because of alternate tuning? So the 2 guitars I use is the APX 500. That's the red one. I've had that since the very beginning of the APX range. It is a version 1. And then the APX 600 is the green one, or it's known as Lucky Lime. And there is a story behind that. But yes, it is because of alternate tunings. So red, aka the 500, they've both got names. Red is in Dadgad, and Lucky Lime is in normal tuning. And it's just based on, you know, playing covers and switching over. I used to take red, and that was it. I used to just have red, that was it. And I would literally tune up and down mid-gig, so from Dadgad to normal and back to Dadgad again. And you can probably imagine how many strings I bust. So then if I bust a string and I've got 1 guitar, I'm screwed. And I really like playing in Dadgad, so I really want to play in Dadgad for both covers and originals. So that's not going away, but then also there's some originals that just need to be played in original tuning. So yeah, that's the reason why. And I was carrying 2 guitars, this loop pedal, and then if I was doing a gig, I had to have the amp as well. Whereas that, it just goes into both. I've done a video about that the fusion bags. dual. And the great thing is it's designed for an acoustic and electric. However, the APX is really thin, so I can fit 2 APXs in there, no problem. Really, really good. So if I go to, say, I live in the northwest of the UK, so if I travel over I live near Liverpool, so if I travel over to Manchester on the train, I just take that and the looper board, and I've got both of them. It's really easy. Currently, live rig fits in a small shoulder bag. Yeah, but you can't say that, Piers. You don't. You do everything a cappella, which is amazing, by the way. But obviously, you've got no instruments to lug around. I am jealous. I'm saying that with jealousy, by the way. It's really good. Yes, absolutely. There we go. Right, Fast Eddie. When you do a live stream, do you go through your computer with all the cameras and audio? Today, yes. This system that you're seeing right now, this is ReStream. If you have a look on the description box underneath, there's a couple of things how to help you, and one of them is ReStream, and you can actually get a ReStream account completely free, and this is called ReStream Studio. Now, I'm using ReStream Studio Pro, which you pay for, and I think it's absolutely worth it because I can just add this camera on. This camera is the OBSBot tail air, so as I move, it just moves with me. The microphone is just up here, if you can just out a shot, and it's plugged into the OBSBot, and then that is my phone. So this is my phone using what's it called? Camera Hub by Elgato. It used to be its own thing, and then Elgato bought it. So EPOP Cam on your phone, turn any phone into a webcam is the original idea, but actually it's really great for live streaming. So there we go. So then ReStream, you can get sort of $10 of ReStream credit when you sign up through my link, which is restream.io/John Paul Music UK. I can't believe I remembered that off the cuff. And the other thing as well is you don't have to use that. So you don't have to use the credit. You can just get ReStream Studio completely for free. But they put the ReStream logo on there. So you want to take the logo off and put your own logo up. So I can put my own logo up, for example. Have I got my own logo on here right now? No, I haven't got it on this version right now. But then it's got different pages, a little bit like a presentation, like a keynote or whatever you use, like a PowerPoint. So you can just go bump, 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 next. I've actually got loads of different looks and countdown timers and things like that. So you can do that really easily. It's really cool. And you can bring people's questions up like I've just done then, literally just using the mouse. So we go. Smooth, JP, smoothest DistroKid segment ever. Thank you. Haven't tried using DadGad. Don't try using DadGad. Don't do it. The reason is if you do, you'll never leave. It is an amazing tuning, and I absolutely love it. A lot of my latest songs are because of DadGad. I love playing in DadGad. It's as simple as that. Right, now back to this. As I've been chunnering away, you can now see we've got the spacers on this side. We've got the RC600 going to be on the bottom here, and we've got everything else is going to be on the top. So this is the tricky bit, because this is the bit where I'm going to turn this around and it looks really, really cool on the camera. That's quite cool. You can see these are sort of like a little bit off and out. See that? And it's because of the weight and things like that. But as this goes on it, with the spacers as well, it'll all even out, and then we'll end up with something like that, and it'll look cool. That's what we're going to say. So yeah, actually let's put it back the other way. There we go. Oh, that's nice. Because of you, I used DistroKid for my daughter's single release last January. That's nice. That's cool. Oh, thanks. Gotcha. I should play it. No, don't do it. No, it is really cool. I can show you some cool things. People have asked actually, like, would you teach DadGad? And the funny thing is, I only know a couple of different structures. I don't do solos and things like that, but I could. But I've been using it for years. The song Boss Castle that I just brought. I played in Liverpool, a place called the Camp and Furnace, which is lovely. I did Boss Castle live there for a competition. And it wasn't really about the competition. It was about obviously earning money making money for the charity, which they made $4,000, by the way, on that night alone, which is cool. And there's still a link somewhere. In fact, have I still got that link? Where you can donate, and it's all helping the charity. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to change the DistroKid logo at the top left-hand corner for a second. There we go. That's the Primal Live donate screen. So if you donate to that, you are donating to help support or help what's called the Whitechapel Centre. The Whitechapel Centre are basically an amazing charity in Liverpool helping people who are homeless. And anyone, the statistics are terrible. I mean, the thing is, anyone can be homeless, and they said that you're three monthly payments away from being homeless. That's terrifying. Anyway, so we did this. They did this. Primal Live did this gig. That's the QR code up there. And then, yeah, basically, hopefully that should have also gone into the chat. But if you want to go and donate, you're more than welcome to. And that really, really helps. Yeah, but Dadgad, so I played there. The whole reason I'm talking about that is because I played there. And I played Boscastle. Boscastle has been made from Dadgad directly. This is where this is going to get really fiddly. I'm going to get super fiddly now. Yeah, I'm going to have to do it in a different way. Hang on a sec. There we go. We'll pull it down like that. And I've made a couple of songs like that. All I Now Have is Dadgad, which is another one of my tunes. So yeah, it's very Celtic sounding, and that's what I like. It's got that sort of Celtic-y, like almost like, I don't know, what do I say? Almost roots, like not like grassroots, but it's got like sort of like bluesy roots feel to it, which I can't really play on a normal guitar. So playing Dadgad, kind of, I get away with it. Yeah, it's really nice to play. Now, this is where things get interesting. Can you see here? Hopefully you can. I'm kind of having to start squeezing this together to make it fit, and it does get messy, but so I start losing. Yeah, I've just thrown that on through. There we go. So I want it like that initially, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here first. I can't tilt this round anymore because it's actually screwed in. Oh, there we go. I think we're there. There we go. And again, I'm not screwing them all in all the way because otherwise it'll get too close and I won't be able to get these spaces in. The more we do this, the further down we go, the harder it gets as well. So we go. I still don't know why YouTube doesn't allow you to click on an icon and go to someone's channel. It'd be so much easier to just click on the icon and chat and then subscribe. For some reason, it doesn't. I think the reason for that is certainly if we're live right now, probably underneath there is a subscribe button somewhere right there. So I think it depends on how you're watching it, I suppose. If you're watching it on a mobile device or if you're watching it on a desktop or something like that. But yeah, I get it. I hear you. Don't scratch your new desk, GP. Right, there we go. So if you're joining us and you're wondering what the hell this is, then what we're doing is I use the New X Bumblebee large pedal board, and I normally have the R600 on the top, and then on my other pedals on the bottom, I am switching them around. And as I'm switching them around, I thought, well, do you know what? You guys can watch me do it. So hang on a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's this one. The trick I'll do with this one is just push it out of the way. There we go. Come on. Is that in? Looks like it is. And then this is where it starts getting harder and harder to do because they're all starting to get more rigid. So there's less flex in the board. So I have to just be a bit forceful with this, and then push that through. I hope this is highly entertaining, by the way, as I rebuild my pedalboard live in front of you. That on? That's on. Cool. And the other thing as well, I have been toying with the idea, and someone said it before about the VE500. I have a VE500, and would you believe it's still in the box? I did take it out. Don't worry, it has been unboxed and played with, but it went back in the box because I just wasn't ready for it. Because I'm so used to using the TC Helicon, but as each kind of month goes by, I am becoming more and more fearful that that TC Helicon is going to die or fail or do something. I just feel like it's got old Father Time like pushed against it. It's pretty old. So there could be a point where this becomes completely boss, in the sense of not the Scouse term of that's boss, that, as in that's cool, but in the term of I'm using everything boss apart from the volume and the switcher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank God I haven't lost any. Okay, I've just dropped that. Ugh. There you go. Every time I have to bend down, pick something up, drink. Depends where you are in the world. Right, so. Wow, this chat's going quick. My main guitar is. Oh, see now. Don't tell me that. That's like the dream guitar for me at the moment. That I had a dream a couple of weeks ago that I was playing one. It's bad, isn't it? Is the Acoustasonic Jazzmaster. Now, I'd really like the Jazzmaster. And I've also noticed as well that, like, they've come down in price a lot, but there's no new version. Like, I could probably pick one up about 700 quid, and that's still a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But if it's your gigging machine, that's really cool. So you got the telly, named Tallulah. Nice. The Taylor. So the Ed Sheeran guitar, as I like to call it, the Taylor Mini, the GS Mini. That Ed made massively famous for. Everyone went GS Mini is for loop and just for looping. Again, going back to Carl Wagner, I like Carl's guitar. It's got a nice sound out of it and a nice bump when he hits it. Stopped it. Cool. Those guitar bags are only suitable for a Dreadnought, I assume. They're pretty big. You don't have to have a Dreadnought. I mean, they advertise it with a Fender, because they are quite big and they've got a lot of padding, like a lot of padding. Don't do that. Ugh. Come on, I won't come out now. And off down the ether it goes. Right, okay. So that's cool. I like that. It doesn't have to be a Dreadnought. Have a look at the review that I did of that bag. It's good. It is big. It does make it heavy. You can even add a backpack onto it. It's got all these little ridges, and then sorry for the mess, but then that's the backpack. That's the middle one. That's the medium one, and then these actually Velcro onto there. So if you've got clothes in there and that's all you need to do. However, of course, as loop artists, we've also got a pedal board full of loopers as well. So, it's, but that's our own vice. It's nothing to do with, don't do that. It's nothing to do with Fusion Bags. So no, it's a great design. Thank you to Fusion Bags, obviously, for sending it out as well. And I think it's an absolute space saver. For me, I take the train quite a lot. Over to things like Manchester and even as far as Leeds and stuff, where I am based just on the other side of Liverpool, on a place called the Wirral, which is in Cheshire. So for me, if you're throwing things in a car, you just throw things in a car. It's not that bad. But if you're going on the train or you just need to have a hand free, then this one's been really finicky. There we go. It's on. Good. Then basically you need space. So you might look like a turtle with that on your back, but it does the job. I hope that makes sense. Right. Let's see if we do this the other way around. If I do it that way, is that going to be more helpful to me? Should have actually not put this one on straight away because it's now in my way. And move that like that. Try and catch it. Come on. Yeah, that's better. There we go. So I hope you can see now, the spacing that it's creating. That's all done up. So can you see there? There's literally just a couple of mil. This is the whole reason for doing this, just to get a couple of mil either side. Obviously, that's not tied up yet, or screwed up yet. We've got 2 to do, and then we can get everything back on there. So let's see if we can get this done in time. Whoa, another one gone down the back there. I'll be hoovering these up for weeks. There we go. Right, cool. I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention to the chat. It was really bad of me. Rig includes Launchpad, though. Ah, yes. Easily played software instruments that wouldn't change the size of the rig at all. That's really cool. Made my rig quite a bit smaller, but just the Looper X board. Oh, the Bose S1 Pro Plus. Nice. That's cool. Oh, see, now, like, yeah, for large gigs, use the EV Evolve. Now, EV, I've been trying to get hold of their, well, I'm trying to get hold of them. So EV, if you're watching, please get in contact, because I've been contacting you through multiple channels. And I know you're not predominantly based in the UK. They've got, obviously, their battery-powered speakers, which... Everse speakers. I really want to try one because, of course, we've used the Mackie Showbox, which is amazing. There's only little gripey things about the Showbox, but nothing major. That is a fantastic thing, but it's £800 in the UK, so it's a big old price ask for, you know, a speaker that's battery powered. But you can, you know, you can do some great stuff with it. So I'd really like to. So someone said to me, "What's the difference? You know, what do you think the difference between the two?" And it's like, I've not actually played with the EV one, the battery EV one. So I'd really like to have a go of it. So yeah. Not some banjo-y tunings, no, just dad card. The only reason I don't use my RC600 for live gigs anymore is due to a huge Blackbird board that took me 4 rebuilds. Wow, so that's heavy, right? That's a heavy board. I might just have made that one off with the whole freaking the Looper X pedals. Yes, this is the thing. So this is the key with the Looper X. Then this is the unique selling point, is those pedals. Now, if you like those pedals, then I'd highly recommend getting in contact with Graham from Stadium Music, because obviously, if I just put this down for 1 second, nearly there. Obviously, he's done these and made these pedals, which is the same pedals as the RC300 feel, but they're cantilevered. So you see that? So the cantilevered, they're underneath, and they just stick it down. It's just really that really sticky, immersive stuff, and then you just stick, and then really good to press. However, it has on his website Sheeran pedals toppers. So I think when he's ready, I did say, go on then, send me one. And what I'm thinking of doing is actually replacing the All Start Stop with the Sheeran one, if he can send me one, because then I can see the difference between them. But obviously, it's going to add a little bit of, as long as it doesn't add height, like as in too much height, then it should be fine. Oh, this one's quite tough. There we go. Oh, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. There we go. So I'm screwing these all back in now. As I said, it's a little bit like Meccano. You just kind of screw it back in place wherever you want it. I kind of know where I want it already based on me doing this previously. But you could have the boards here. There's actually, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it comes with 8. So there's normally one here as well, but I don't need it for the RC600. So it's just overkill. So I just need one for the front and the back. And then we are there almost. I'm knocking that cable again. There we go. I know this is a very different live stream, but I hope it's been entertaining. And ta-da! We now have the board with the spacers. So let me show you this. This obviously now is the RC600. And you can talk about that. Savior Michael Tyson of A Tasty Pixel, but just make subscriber right click. Yeah, absolutely. If you make them once again rigged up. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. She swears by her VA500 reckons the auto harmonies are as smart as the TC Helicon ones. Lovely. Oh, don't tell me that. I'm gonna end up buying one. And Tallulah rocks. Love that. Always been a Taylor girl. Nice. A dream is the exact one the Cole wants. Yeah, the Matons. The Matons are flipping expensive, but they're good. They are good. They are good. I wouldn't take it out like in certain gigs because it's just expensive. If I broke one, I'd be absolutely mortified. If anyone took a holiday in the States, went out and got out with a crappy guitar in a flight case, came home with a nice new Martin in the same case, US to UK price, almost covered the flight cost. Wow. There you go. I didn't tell you this. Can't prove anything. Yeah. Martins are awesome. They are. They're nice and warm. Taylor Jumbo. Nice. Much of the UK folks, Martins are the brand. Yeah, absolutely. They are. Taylor's kind of had a bit of a strange rap. APT Music's gone, but thank you very much for joining us, dude, because of course this is obviously your doing as well. So obviously figuring this out and doing the videos. If you want to see the full kind of breakdown of how you do this, go to APT Music's YouTube channel, go and subscribe and go and look at those videos. Nice set of videos there. So this, obviously I've already got Velcro on this at the certain point. It's not Velcro, by the way, sorry, it's called Dual Tape 3M or whatever it's called. Dual lock, that's it, Dual Lock 3M. Couldn't remember that. So if I marry this up, as it were, this is the point where it's not completely married up. It is just, and this is the point where I think, if I remember correctly, I have to undo it a bit. Yes, I do. So I've got to I forgot about that. You've got to, it's literally scratching just on the side there. I've got to undo it just a bit on one side to get it in, and then you can screw it in. It's because of the edges. See this edge here? It's just slightly out. Does that make sense? See that? So it's just a little bit slightly out on both sides. I've just got to undo, I forgot about that, one side. I've just done them all up as well. So we'll just undo them, just to make it have a little bit of give. And then you can nudge it in. Really. And then we can screw it back up again. It is a very, very snug fit, this. It is very snug, but it does work, as I say. So we will then end up with this on the floor, on the bottom. To be honest, I'd probably get away with that. I just undo the front ones. Hopefully. Probably won't now. I'll just undo them all. It'd be easier. As opposed to struggling. Why struggle? Oh, and he's throwing it down the back. Oh, and it's properly gone down the back now. Right, so I'm now on the floor. You're going to have to give me a minute. So, yeah, talking to myself. So while I try and retrieve this, oh, it flew forward. That's all right. There we go. There we go. But we'll do it anyway. We'll do what we're going to do anyway. Let's put that back up. Whilst we talk about... There. So this live stream, as I unscrew all these, is sponsored. It's sponsored by a friend at DistroKid. DistroKid is a music distribution company that I use, and I now know that Ali uses as well. So if you've got music that you're making, where's that gone? There you go. If you've got music that you're making, you want to get it out there in the world, then you obviously need a music distributor. You can't just rock up to Spotify and just go, "Boy, play my music," or put it on a playlist for me. You've got to release it first. You've got to release it with a music distributor independently. It's very, very, very expensive to be a music distributor yourself. So why not use someone else? So I use DistroKid, and DistroKid, literally you upload your music to them, but you keep 100% of your rights, your royalties, and they will actually sort that out because you pay a subscription. Now, a lot of music distributors charge you every time you release a piece of music. DistroKid don't do this. They charge you one price per year, which starts at $22.99. But with the link that basically is this QR code just there, you get 7% off. And then I'm actually on the Musicians Plus tier. So what that is basically a tier that gives you two artists. So there's me, it's John Paul. Me and my mate Greg, we are Tokyo Wasteland. So if you like synthwave music, go and have a listen to that. That's a lot of fun. And then you can basically have 2 artists, but you can also schedule the date of release. So no matter which tier you pick, you get 7% off. So thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. If you've missed the QR code, which I'm taking away now, it's that one over there in the corner. And also, if you're interested in learning about the RC600 or learning how to loop, maybe it's the very beginning of your looping journey, and you're like, I don't know how to loop. Well, I've got a looping course, which is called How to Loop Like a Pro. It's $149. That obviously is basically, if you want to learn from me properly, obviously you can do it. Now you can do it basically for $149, or you can actually now get my subscription. So my subscription has 3 courses in at the moment. It's How to Loop Like a Pro, take you from the very beginning, the RC500 course, and the RC600 course, which is $197. If you bought all 3 of them, I think it's something like $450. Yeah, it is. It's over that, actually. It's just over $450 worth of courses. You're getting it for $15 a month. So there's no minimum term. It's totally up to you how long you keep it. And of course, I'm going to be adding to that as much as possible to keep it obviously fresh and entertaining for you. So sign up today. Obviously, that's obviously helping me directly. And thank you for those who already have. I've had quite a few subscriptions already, which is fantastic. Right, now, let's go back over to the chat. V500 on my 600 board for streaming. Would love to have one for my live rig. Nice. See, look, there you go. Straight away, DistroKid is so easy to use. Love it. Thanks, JP. Welcome. So what we're going to do is, oh, cool. This is going to be great, JP. Loving the build. That's cool. RC500, got the RC500 V22. For harmony singing. I'm in Looper Heaven, but I will get the 600. Is a lot different than 500. It is different. Mainly because of a couple of things, obviously more to do with the routing, and also the big one, if you use the rhythm section, is you don't have the parts, but you can literally make your own rhythms. So it actually has it can take in standard MIDI files, which is SMFs, and you can build your exact rhythm how you want it, which is great, but it's more work. So with the RC500, you've got parts, so you can like take part 1 away or part 2 away, but you can't change what they are. So the limitation on one and limitation on another, but that's quite cool. You've also got 6 loops. You've also got you've got effects that are usable and really good. You've got more routing. You've got more ins. You've got more outs. It's just more of everything. So it is a big boy. It is a really big piece of kit, but it is a fantastic piece of kit. And based on what Alisa said, I'll use this all day long. So if you've got the 500 and you want to get the 600, go and grab my subscription for $15 a month, and then you can bash through my 500 course, and then when you get the 600, you can bash through the 600 course, and just for good measure, you can bash through the How to Loop Like a Pro course. Even if you're not a beginner, there's some awesome tips in there that I don't even share on YouTube, and make sure I don't share on YouTube because they're on the course. Anyway, as you can see, I haven't actually pushed it down now. These are loose on this side, and this obviously is ready to go on. We've got the dual lock on there, and we're just going to very carefully, he says, but not that carefully. I'm going to put this on here, and see that click? It's on. We've got a little bit of a gap there, which we're now going to, and that's it, we're on. That's cool. Yeah, nice. Now, because it's not slightly angled like that, that is a much better place of pushing now. So a little bit easier for pushing on there than having to go obviously up to there and then have an angle. I kept the whole reason for this build is because I did a gig on Saturday. I kept pressing here. It doesn't naffle. You've got to press here to make it, because it's a cantilever. And I kept misjudging it. I kept pressing where the light is, which I've never done. But I kept doing it. I was really frustrated with myself for doing that. So on that basis, that means that basically I just wanted to see if making a change would change me. So we're going to do this as an experiment. And it's not taken too long to change this over, which is good. So then we're just going to screw this back up so it is nice and snug and tight. And let's do this one as well. And because they're rubber spacers, they'll have a little bit of give on them. So that's good because, you know, you don't want it to not work that way. I hate Velcro, by the way. There was a whole point of my sort of looping career where I would only use tie wraps and I wouldn't use Velcro at all. I wouldn't use Velcro at all. Where is it? There it is. Meanwhile, the camera's like, where's JP gone? By the way, if you're watching this on the replay, start from the beginning and play a drinking game, and obviously you have a drink every time I drop this flipping thing. Maybe not, you could get quite sloshed. But yeah, so I would only use tie wraps. I hated Velcro, but as it's become more of a permanent fixture, as in I know I'm going to use certain things, I've kind of settled for the dual lock, because the Velcro, it's got that horrible feeling. You take things off and on a couple of times, you got that furry horribleness, whereas the dual lock's basically like solid, and then I can just take it off, put things back on. It kind of clicks, locks back into place, as you heard. But then if I need to take the RC600 off to put on the table to show you like a tutorial, for example, I can, and it won't actually affect the board. You won't end up with a reduction in quality, if that makes sense, of the Velcro that you have to replace. So, now let's have a look. Two more, one more after this, and there we go. We are. Whoa! Don't drink yet. I saved it. That's it. We're on. So now, the Harley Benton's sitting underneath, still accessible there. Can I push it in a little bit there? And then there's my looper on the bottom. Nice. So eventually, well, it's not eventually, I'll do it right now. Basically, yeah, get the dual lock. It's hard to get off, as you've seen, but that's a good thing. So this actually goes here. And because of the way I've got this, I could actually put this maybe one step back or one step forward. I need a bit of space between these buttons. Imagine if I pressed, a button and everything else. So you could obviously have it a little bit further back like that, or I can actually have it hanging over a bit further forward. But the way I've got this designed, of course, because of where the spacing is and where the lock is, if I just get this right, there we go. Let's just do that now. Sorry for me overlooking this where I do this. Trying to get it right. There we go. A little bit further, so it should be there like that. So just to show you how easy this is, obviously I've got this lock stuff here. I've got two there, and you just go boop on. It is solid, on, done. Then I can rip it off if I need to. So I'm going to put it right in the corner there, as far as I can go. Yeah, there we go. Because if I put this on straight away, I've just remembered, put that on straight away, then this little bad boy won't work. I need to put that in first, and then I can put this across. So where is the edge of that lock? It's there and there. So yeah, so I can nudge that right up to the edge now. So we put it like that. Oop. Come on. There we go. We're on. Oh, we're not on the bottom. There we go. We're on at the bottom. You want to see how powerful this is? I'm going to lift the Play Acoustic. I'm literally lifting it from the Play Acoustic, and that's how strong it is. So that's on. That's on. And then we're going to have this one at the top, and then we're going to have our AB switcher, which switches memories right in the middle, about there. Okay. Yeah, I had a spare one of these, so I actually put it on the TC Helicon and it works. So I was quite happy with that. So these ones don't work on these; they're a little bit rounded, so a little bit different. Now I'm going to wire everything up myself now, and then obviously I'll do that a little bit later. But just to show you guys how that would work, I plug my two guitars into here, into the switcher. This goes in turn into here, so then the guitar in gets both guitars. I plug my microphone into the microphone in here, and then the only one that's a little bit fiddly is basically going from the XLR out of, it will be that way around. XLR out of this one to here. So obviously underneath, this basically goes to here, and then we've got the cabling for all the power. And then I've got this little spacer thing. It's going to go under there, and just obviously so we can get cabling to it all. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much basically how it's going to go. So The other thing as well to be aware of if you do this, and I think APT actually mentioned this as well. I'm going to leave that off so I've got space to move things around. Actually, no, I should have space. If I use... Which one did I use last time? I used the flat one, didn't I? Yeah. So if I have that, that's going to go round to the controls underneath at the bottom here. Yeah, the one thing you need to be aware of course, if you've just made it a couple of mil either side thicker. So the bag, it does fit in the bag like this, but it's really tight. So if you've got things sticking out and you've got like controls sticking out, unplug them because you don't want to bend them. So maybe just unplug, you know, your OGs or whatever, or you know, if you've got, or your power should be fine because it's the right angle. But if you haven't got anything right angled, I've got an XLR that's right angled, which is great because when I plug that in, then it just goes into there, and I can't remember which way it is, but yeah, plug that in. I think it's that way. And I can change the angle of these, so I can unscrew that and put that there, so it goes down as opposed to across. So they're really useful. But if you haven't got something like that, you will have to unplug XLRs from the back of this to make it fit in that bag. But that's it, guys. I just wanted to showcase this for you and show you how I switched this over. I'm going to be playing with this obviously over the next, well, couple of months, and obviously I'll report back and obviously show you how all of that has gone. And if you've got questions, if you're obviously on the replay and you weren't able to make the live stream, you've got questions about this, you've got questions about the RC600, you've got questions about my courses, which are under there, let me know. Shout me a comment in the comment section underneath the actual live stream. I'll see it on my phone and I'll try and answer as many as I can. Now, before we go, a couple of things. So let's just have a quick look. I need to get some lock and loop 3M. That's it. Was always called lock and loop? I thought it was called dual lock. Whatever it's called. It's great. It's great. Really, really good. You figured you're liking that. So take another drink. I just saw that. That's wicked. Yeah, that's cool. That's the labour intensive of it all. Absolutely not. Beautiful, JP. Thank you very much. Well done. Lovely. There we go. We did it in under 2 hours. Just on the 2 hour mark. There we go. There we go. This is it. The problem with all these units is actually interacting with them when you are on stage. So I make sure that I set the RC600 up the way I want to, so I don't have to do that, and obviously, you know, as minimal as possible. The only time I'll actually sort of be bending down with this is, you know, during a sound check. You know, making sure the microphone is the right level and the guitar is the right level. But when I'm performing, the whole point of this setup is so basically I don't have to go and like lean down, even though I've got a tiny screen. And I have that on the looper screen, the one with the loops going around, so I can visually see just by looking down where I am in the loop. Obviously, this is stuff I discussed in the RC600 course. But yes, you're right. Performance stream tonight once you're all wired up. I'm afraid not. I won't be able to tonight because I have to go and do something else basically this evening, which is going to lead me up till 1 a.m. So I won't be doing a live stream. This is the live stream I'll be doing for this week. But we'll do a live stream a little bit later to obviously with this setup, absolutely. There we go. So we're going to leave it there. I hope that's been helpful for you. Obviously, give DistroKid a look if you're looking at releasing some music. Obviously, they're sponsoring a live stream, and they're awesome. And then if you want to, of course, is basically have a look at my courses. So, as I said, the RC600 course is $197. The RC500 course is $97. And I'm just remembering the How to Loop Like a Pro is $159 to buy. Or you can actually get it for $15 a month. Okay, so you can literally, there's no minimum term. So it's a subscription. Now I'm going to be adding to that subscription all the time. So of course, to make it valuable for you to keep it, that's my goal, is for you to keep the subscription. Of course it is. I'm not going to lie to you. But if you want to buy the course, you can buy the course. Or if you just want to go through the course and see what it's like, maybe test it, $15 a month. It's maybe $15 for 1 month. And if you've gone through it all and you're like, that's enough for me, that's fine. If you go, do you know what, I'm going to keep it, that's great. Either way, I'm helping you out because it's making Are you still there? Apparently we're back. Oh, apparently we are back. Apparently it's all working again. Let me know in the chat if it's working again. Hi. If you are, thank you very much for watching this live stream. We're just literally coming to the end. Another connection problem. That was good. So yes, so need to talk on at some point arranging a Friday night, and that'd be cool. Let's do that. And Ali, thank you very much, obviously, for all your comments, and everyone, all your comments as well as Fast Eddie and Eddie Laughs. Oh, maybe you two need to get together. 2 Eddies. Fast Eddie and Eddie Laughs. And yeah, Ali, let's reach out and let's have a little chat as well. I think that'd be quite cool. So thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed this. As I say, if you're watching on the replay, please like, subscribe. If you're watching right now, please like and subscribe. It really helps. Send it out. Interested in this stuff, and we will see you again next week when we do another live stream. And yeah, stay tuned. Thanks very much. Bye.